What's going on, traders? This is Antoine Farrar back with another trading video with Digital Goatz Academy, and welcome to our live trading segment. So I'm gonna go ahead and open my charts right now, so we can just go ahead and get into it. So I'll be honest, the market's been kind of playing me for a fool lately, just because I haven't been patient. But that's one of the things that I think, all traders can say across the board that they still deal with, no matter what level they're at. But looking at US 30, I did have, a belief at one point that it was coming down along with Bitcoin. Let me look at our other one. Along with Bitcoin, yeah, with Bitcoin as well, but I no longer believe that. I actually am going to release a video today that where I explain my change in analysis. And I was looking at some other Forex pairs, but I'm gonna stop doing that to be honest. That has been working against us, but you are gonna see some other traders from Digital Goats Academy highlight some of the regular Forex pairs. So you can pretty much divert your attentions towards them and just focus on me for indices because that's my bread and butter and that's where I ultimately win at. So, looking at what has happened this entire week with US 30, let's go ahead and start back. This is not a weekly review, but let's go ahead and start back from where the market opened up, right? So, if we're looking at Sunday. I'm correct. Yeah, Sunday was right here. So we consolidated a little bit. Monday shot up. Then we shot up again Tuesday, and the market got brought down pretty much all day yesterday, up until 6 a.m. this morning, which we did have that jobless claim news that came out at 8:30 a.m. And that was the momentum we needed to actually push the market back up. But look, we've discussed this, keeping it simple, right? This is resistance. We already got this annotated that this area was resistance. What are we ultimately looking for price to do if it's still maintaining a bullish trend? We're looking at it to test the area and either create some form of resistance. I mean, not resistance, either create some form of support, which this is what I mean. This is your support structure because if you just highlight these two data points, did the market not touch it twice? Absolutely. Do we have the possibility of a pullback? Yeah, but normally based off of like this pattern within indices, like definitely US 30, the trend should continue and then we'll probably get like, some type of sideways movement to have the market well, I lost my train of thought there. To have the market correct itself. So yeah, that's what I'm expecting with US 30. I expect it to keep up this trend. I mean, it's early in the year, so like I said before, we don't have a lot of momentum in the market just yet. We have a lot of data from news articles and whatever happens this year that's going to be filtered into the market as we continue to move on in the year. So once we get that information, we'll start seeing more aggressive moves. But like I said before, or like you'll see on the call that's released, that I think that there it is again. I lost my train of thought again. I don't know why I did that. But anyway, I do think that the market is going to remain bullish, you know what I'm saying? Just the rest of, well, not the rest of the year, up until we get to like the end of Q2, you know what I'm saying? Maybe. So just plain and simple, what we're seeing, like I said, resistance right here. This is a form of support. This is very common pattern, like I said, within indices, especially US 30. So I would definitely pay attention to that. And you're seeing other indices kind of follow suit. So it looks like S&P right now is pulling back, but going to continue pushing up. As you can see, it did the same thing slightly, but instead it created a low, then it consolidated, it pushed up, and then that low was tested basically by this area over here. So just looking at it, that was a previous high, you know what I'm saying? So this area had tested this previous high, and right now we have basically the market testing whatever high that's like on the lower time frame that's hidden over here. Oh, okay, right there. So the market is testing this high. We don't want to see it go anything below. It could, it could come back, down to this consolidation area, but we wouldn't want to see it there. But overall, like I said, the momentum is still up. Let's see what Nasdaq is doing. Nasdaq, this is why I don't even mess with it because it'd be looking like it's doing an entirely different thing. Nasdaq looks like it's actually trying to push down, but for whatever reason. Yeah, so the market looks like it's basically correcting itself to keep up its bullish momentum, but I do think these are the buy zones overall for today. And then we'll have to see. Remember, though, tomorrow's non-farm payroll, so we'll definitely have to see how the market reacts. So if it hasn't tested these areas where we normally expect it to test, the market could do that tomorrow. I'm hoping that that momentum is actually the momentum we need to continue pushing us up. Again, if we're just looking at what happened, I think that's what I was going to say. If we're just looking at what happened last year, it just looks like the market is continuing from what we expected to happen last year, right? So we expected the market to be at 50K, which really is 5,000, but we expected to be at 50K, right? It hasn't hit that area, but it's gotten close. So the fact that we're closer, we should expect it to hit it probably before the month is over. January is probably the month where we hit 50K, which would be pretty awesome if you ask me. That's my birthday month, so that'll be pretty awesome if we get it to hit 50K. Same thing with S&P. We should get S&P to hit 7K by the end of this month. If not, going into the next month, you know what I'm saying? It just depends on how much data we get that adds momentum to the market. But I think the story is pretty clear on what we should be expecting. You know what I'm saying? Like kind of clear cut. Again, the beginning of the year tends to be a little slow, but if we follow the trend on the higher time frame, I mean, we've just been bullish. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like we just been bullish. So there's no reason for us at this current time to think that the market is going any lower. Uh, what I guess we'll just go off of like the principles on what we did last year. So anytime the market had pushed down last year, no matter how violent it was, we already chalked that up to being a buy. You know what I'm saying? We didn't divert from that. And yes, towards the end of the year, it kind of played with us because the sales were way more aggressive than we thought, you know what I'm saying, coming after the tariffs. But I even remember this is when Trump said something about the tariffs for 100% against, 100% tariffs against China. And, that kind of swayed my analysis, not to mention these big moves down. But I guess this is what the market was doing to prepare us for this year. So we should see a straight line here within like the next 2 to 3 months on the buy side. You know what I'm saying? With still, still trade your currency pair, but like we should see like a lot of bullish momentum. There's been a lot of positive talks, especially coming from the White House, and especially for us in America, that stuff is definitely influencing the market, and I think it's been adding a lot of positivity to these stocks and these currency pairs. So we should see the stock market still booming. Um, once everything gets sorts out and the crypto market should start actually gaining some traction too. So it's going to be slow. And again, with the new emergence of like, companies investing in AI, you're seeing AI so common. That's also like, I don't want to say a red flag, but that light bulb should go off in your head. You know what I'm saying? That light bulb should go off in your head that, man, I'm seeing a lot of stuff about AI. How's that being, manifested into or triggered into the economy? Obviously on the stock market side. So where should your focus be on the stock market side? Um, Stocks that are AI driven, right? But that's going to add influence to the Nasdaq as well, because the Nasdaq is what? A tech stock, which ultimately is going to influence the behavior of S&P and US 30. So yeah, US 30 is on a bullish tear. I like that. All right. We're starting off the year. Well, we did start off the year. No, we ended the year good. We started off the year bad. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, that was just like 2 weeks ago. So we're managing. We're managing. So yeah, this is what I'm looking at for US 30. Like I said, that's just going to be my focus. I know we discussed some other Forex pairs, but I'm not really paying attention to those right now. Like I said, like if you're going to trade, I do believe indices is where you want to go, unless you're just that far with regular Forex pairs. And if you are, cool, you know what I'm saying? Don't divert from what's making you money, but I believe the money is in indices and it's only going to get more expensive. So if you haven't been, trading with indices, like I would say kind of get comfortable with it because you don't want to be when like US 30 is like 600, $700 to buy into, you know what I'm saying? And then you're already taking losses because you don't understand how it flows, you know what I mean? So get comfortable with it now before basically price goes up. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at. There's not really much to, necessarily discuss. Like I already told y'all my thoughts on Bitcoin. I did believe that we were going to be pushing down, but I think that price is just testing this area from this sequence. That was the that was the breakout. We got the test back. Keep it simple. We got the test back into this zone, which is resistance, and you can already see the rejection off of the candlesticks. So that's a sign of rejection. And we've already seen somewhat of, bullish momentum. But it's cryptocurrency, so it's not going to be as straightforward as like what we see with indices or other Forex pairs. It's going to build that momentum first, like by consolidating and then pushing the market up. But I'm still bullish on Bitcoin. And like I mentioned before in the other video in our market forecast is that I do think that this is probably the last time we'll see price at these low numbers and we won't see them again for like years to come. So I would say start loading up on your crypto portfolio. Obviously find things that you can afford and also won't have that much of a detriment to your account if it backlashes on you. But I think that's what we're seeing. So like Bitcoin Cash, I think it's prime for buying up. I mean, we're already seeing it. And think about it, these things are considered to be still low. Bitcoin Cash, Sandbox, Shiba finally made a move. Oh yeah, it's that time. It is definitely that time. But yeah, we're looking at US 30 continue buying up. Let's see how the market responds, what type of pullback it gives us. But indices are a little bit more direct. You know what I'm saying? They don't really do like, yeah, they pull back as they're buying and selling up, but they normally do their like retest on like the opposite side, as you see right here. Price bought up, tested lower, bought up. Make sense? So you see, it doesn't, like we can expect a Forex pair to have already done one of these numbers, like, you know what I'm saying? This thing might consolidate, buy up, continue, and then whenever it's going to test this high, like something to that effect. But yeah, that's all I got, traders. It's been a slow week. We may do something for tomorrow just because it's the first non-farm payroll of the year. Is it the first? Yeah, because we couldn't do it because of that's right. Because it was New Year's. That's why we couldn't do it. So yeah, it's the first non-farm payroll of the year. From here on out, it should be the first Friday of each month, but it's been pushed to the next Friday because obviously we had New Year's and that they just didn't release it until the following week. So that's where we're currently at, traders. But that's all I got for today. Hasn't been testing, testing. Don't tell me I've been talking this whole time. Testing, testing, testing. Hopefully y'all heard me. I feel like, but anyway, that's all I got, traders. Um, I'll get with everybody later, and I'll see everybody on the next video with Digital Goats Academy, which will be our weekly review. Hope everybody has a successful trading day. I'm Antoine Farrell signing off. Peace.